The sky over Carthos Prime split open with fire. It was not a natural phenomenon, no storm of the stars. It was deliberate, calculated, merciless. The Zerath Dominion, oldest and most arrogant of the stellar empires, had descended upon the human colony world with the grace of predators and the cruelty of butchers. They did not waste words. They did not declare war. They came as executioners. Human freighters burned in orbit, their hulls split apart by plasma beams. The defense grid, outdated, underfunded but brave, managed to down 2 invader cruisers before the full might of the Zerath fleet silenced them. Then came the landings. Armored troops with chitin carapaces and blades grown from their very arms stormed the colony's cities. And when the resistance fighters, farmers, engineers, teachers stood against them, the Zerath laughed. They filmed their slaughter. The governor of Carthos Prime, dragged through the streets, bleeding but unbowed, spat in their faces. The Zerath commander responded by tearing out her tongue and broadcasting her death to every human outpost within range. When the fires dimmed and the Zerath ships departed, they left behind 10 billion corpses and a single message carved into the shattered capital. Earth is next, the arrogance of the Dominion, in the grand halls of the Zerath Dominion. Their lords and war masters celebrated. To them, it was not conquest, it was culling. Humanity was, in their words, a fragile people, too young, too sentimental, too attached to mercy, law, treaties, and dreams of peace. The council chambers echoed with their pride. They mocked the idea that Earth, a single world, could resist them. They called us a garden species, a people of soil and sea, unfit for the void. They will beg, one lord hissed. They will kneel, or they will perish. Their fleets are scattered, their colonies weak. Earth will be ours before their council even convenes. They toasted to their certainty. They laughed at the burning of Carthos Prime, as if it were nothing more than a bonfire. They mocked humanity's grief as weakness. In their arrogance, they forgot the oldest truth of predators. A wounded prey is often the most dangerous. The silence before the storm. For a time, the galaxy held its breath. Humanity did not respond immediately. No armadas appeared. No vengeance came. The other empires, some neutral, some fearful, some quietly glad to see humanity humbled, watched and waited. Whispers spread. Perhaps Earth was too timid. Perhaps the humans were broken. Perhaps the Zerath were right. But those who truly knew Earth, those who had traded with humans, studied beside them, or fought alongside them in older wars, felt a cold dread settle into their bones. Humanity was not silent because it was broken. It was silent because it was preparing. The first warning. The first sign came not as a fleet, but as a message, short, unencrypted, broadcast on every channel the Dominion used. You came for Earth. You will find only death. The Zerath dismissed it as pathetic defiance, a last empty howl of a wounded animal. They laughed again, but then their forward fleets began to vanish. Entire squadrons cut off mid-transmission. Last words filled with static and terror. Patrol ships found only wreckage. And in that wreckage, carved into hulls by some impossible force, a single word, vengeance. The rising storm then the sky filled. They came not with scattered defense flotillas, but with formations so vast they blotted out suns, carriers longer than cities, dreadnoughts armed with weapons that glowed like the hearts of dying stars, swarms of smaller craft that moved with the precision of a single mind. The Earth fleet had awoken. It was not the polite navy the Dominion expected, bound by treaties and soft words. This was something older, something deeper. It was the culmination of centuries of restraint, patience, and preparation. Humanity had always hoped never to use it, but now it was unleashed. Across the galaxy, Dominion outposts burned. Their shipyards, thought untouchable, fell in hours. Human drop troops, clad in armor black as midnight, descended upon fortress worlds with such fury that entire populations surrendered without firing a shot. Where the Dominion had laughed, now it screamed. The hammer falls, the Zerath gathered their great fleet, thousands of ships, battle-tested across centuries of domination. They believed themselves unbreakable. Their admirals spoke with bravado. We crushed their colony. We will crush their home. But when the human fleet arrived, silence spread through their command channels. The numbers were beyond comprehension. Humanity had not brought a fleet. It had brought every fleet. A tide of steel and fire, weapons gleaming against the void like the wrath of gods. The battle was not a clash. It was an execution. Human dreadnoughts fired weapons that tore space itself, ripping Zerath flagships into fragments. Fighters swarmed like angry hornets, slipping through defenses, striking at engines and bridges with precision no machine could match. Every time the Dominion formed a line, it shattered beneath relentless pressure. The humans did not taunt, they did not laugh. They advanced with grim silence, their comms filled only with short, cold commands. And when the Dominion's greatest warlord begged for parley, his transmission was met with only one human word: no. Fire upon the throne world, the Zereth Dominion's capital, Vorith Prime, had never fallen. It was said its defenses could withstand 1,000 years of siege. Entire moons had been hollowed and armed to protect it. The siege lasted less than a week. Human orbital strikes turned those moons into molten rain. The planet's proud fleet was reduced to drifting husks. And then came the landings. The skies blackened as dropships fell like meteors. Human marines, clad in armor that drank in fire and spat out death, marched through the streets. The Dominion soldiers fought with desperation. But desperation is not enough against a force that fights not for conquest, but for vengeance. Every banner of the Zerath was torn down. Every monument was reduced to rubble. At the gates of the Grand Palace, where Zerath lords once feasted and mocked the weak, human soldiers planted the flag of Earth. And when the Dominion's emperor was dragged before the human commander, begging, hissing promises of tribute and surrender, humanity gave its judgment, no trial, no mercy. The emperor was executed live, his final moments broadcast across every Dominion channel, just as the governor of Karthos Prime had been. It was not cruelty, it was symmetry, the ashes of an empire. When the fires dimmed, the Zerath Dominion no longer existed. Their fleets were wreckage, their worlds were ash, their people, once masters of countless species, were left broken, leaderless, and afraid. The galaxy watched in silence. Those who had mocked humanity now trembled. Those who had dismissed Earth as fragile now re-evaluated everything they believed, and those who had considered testing their strength against humans quietly dismantled their plans. For they had seen what happens when Earth rises in anger. Whispers spread from world to world, carried by traitors, refugees, and spies. Do not provoke Earth, because humanity's patience is vast. Their mercy is great, but their vengeance is infinite. The final silence on the ruins of Karthos Prime, survivors returned. They found the colony rebuilt, stone by stone, beam by beam. Fields were replanted, cities rose again. And at the heart of the capital, where once the Zerath had carved their threat, humanity carved their own message into the stone. Here, they wanted Earth. Here they found only death. And so the galaxy learned, never mistake Earth's silence for weakness, never mistake its kindness for cowardice, never mistake its mercy for submission. When the invaders wanted Earth, they got death.